Package moves through Congress. Lawmakers are now trying to load it up with more spending,
including money for things that aren't necessarily stimulus involved, like home heating assistance and additional unemployment benefits.
Has the legislation become a stealth bill for new entitlements? Our Fox panel back now to discuss it. Gary Kay, home heating is now getting involved in this. I mean, listen, nobody's against warming up people who are cold, but now this is part of the stimulus package. How does that stimulate?
Well, I also need a driver for my golf bag and a box of Twinkies. Look, I've been saying all along, I really think this is nonsense. It's going to add maybe a half a point, maybe 1% to GDP in a quarter going forward. It is going to do nothing to help the economy and change the behavior of consumers. You have to let us go through whatever this downturn. It's going to take time. And I got to tell you this, it's almost like we are in an entitlement state. It's like the nanny state, give, give, give. And I only have one question. What do you tell the couple that made $150,001 last year? Oh, you made too much. You're not getting any of this. It just makes no sense, and I just don't like anything about it.
Or Toby, what do you tell the veteran who's come back from Afghanistan, and suddenly one congressman or senator proposes putting veterans benefit in the bill, and you tell the veteran, gee, I'm sorry, this is a stimulus package, you can't have it.
Well, I mean, it's a very difficult point to make here, but, you know, you got to separate what we should do or not do for our veterans from economic stimulus.
But they're not doing it. That's the point. In Washington, they're combining it all together.
Well, I understand it, which mutes your whole issue of, is this a stealth appropriations bill? Of course it's an appropriations bill. You know, of course they've tried to meddle with this thing. And, you know, what scares me is that we really have started to say that we can solve all our economic problems by either A, dropping, Visa cards from the sky, or B, having the Fed, make this market completely dependent on whether I bet the Fed goes to 2.5% or 2%.
Well,
we got to look at the fundamentals right now, and right now the fundamentals aren't strong. Let the market come back the way it should. We'll be fine. We got to get over ourselves on this.
Can I just say something, though? I mean, totally contradictory to what Tobin's saying, Charles. But, I mean, he talks about dropping Visa cards or debit cards from the sky, but the market's rallied 6.5% in the last 10 days of January, ostensibly on the idea of this stimulus package helping retailers and some of the other big things.
Well, I think it was more so the Fed, that perhaps the Fed got back in front of the curve. In this regard, I do kind of agree with Peter that Americans have a soft underbelly when it comes to taking pain, and, we have to sort of sometimes go through recessions. I don't think it has to be a deep recession, but the real problem here is you've already promised this money to people. When I promise my son money for his allowance, he reminds me of that. I don't care if it's a nickel or a dollar. Now, right now, what we've got going on is a legislative version of dueling banjos, and hopefully, it won't end up being a disaster because people are already spending the money.
Peter, that's the point, is that it's an election year and the politicians are throwing everything in this. It's very difficult to pull these entitlements as they become out of a so-called stimulus bill.
Well, you hit the nail on the head. This is not stimulus. This is let's sacrifice the country so we can reelect the incumbents. I mean, it's, throwing gasoline on the fire. If you understand our problems, our underlying problems are the result of too much borrowing and too much spending. And this stimulus package is about the government borrowing a bunch of money, writing checks to people, and hoping they take it to a department store and blow the money. This is going to create a deeper problem. Unfortunately, it's not going to stop the recession. We're probably going to have another stimulus package closer to the election when this one doesn't work, and it's going to be a disaster.
Gary Kalpom, the market's down now 328 points. Are you worried right now, or are you thinking this is just one bad day?
Well, look, we topped out months ago. It just seems like we're just in a bear market for stocks, and the rally we just had was because we dropped about 2,600 Dow points. The market, for me, is really speaking loud and clear about the economy, and now we're starting to see the numbers come in. And once again, there is no way to paint over or gloss over that ISM number, the jobs number, which is going the wrong way also right now.
All right. Well, as Gary said it, the economy is the story. A major concern.